I'm Michelle with Michelle Loves Books, and today I wanted to take you on a tour of my Bookish bullet journal and show you some of the things that I've implemented in my bullet journal to help me keep track of the videos that I want to do, some of the ideas that I have, book tags and the questions and how I would like to answer them. All kinds of cool stuff in here, so take a look and enjoy! Alright, so I found this at Michael's, I believe, and this at Target, this little pencil pouch. I really like gold. I don't actually like this blue, but I've been wanting to get like a traveler style for a really long time so I could keep a couple of my journals in it at once. So here's what I keep in my pencil pouch at all times, and this is also nice when I'm reading because I keep my mild liners in here and my post-it notes in here so I can flag stuff while I'm reading. I'm really excited. I did buy a pack of mild liners a while ago for school online, but Michael's has just started selling the mild liners individually so you can pick out what colors you want. Absolutely love the mild liners, and so I have quite a few colors. I also keep, I apologize if this is shaky, this is kind of hard for me filming like this. I also keep a small ruler in here. I keep a mechanical pencil in here. I really like these zebra ones. I found these at Walmart. They also carry them at my grocery store as well. The 7mm, pretty nice because the lead isn't super thin so it doesn't break, but I do think I want to try getting a smaller point lead because I like the finer lines. I recently just bought these because I have a really hard time finding fine line pens. This is .38 Pilot G2s. I found these at Office Depot. I have not been able to find anything below 7, or sometimes rarely I could find .5 fine lines, but I had to go to Office Depot to find these pens. And then this one's actually from the dollar store, but it actually writes quite nice and it has a pretty fine tip as well. The zebras actually have a pen that comes with them too. It's also 7mm, which I definitely wanted smaller, but it's fine tip anyways. However, the zebra pens really are starting to skip on me, so I had to get some new pens because I just can't handle that. And I also have a couple of Stabilo pens as well. And I really like the grays and blacks because I like to go for the most minimalist look in my journal. I also have this little glue tape and eraser. What I tend to do is write with pencil first, and then write over it with pen, and then I erase so that it looks really nice and clean and neat. Because this is definitely a book I want to go back and look at and keep for a really long time. And I just can't stand going back and looking at ugly pages. Now for the Traveler's Notebook. This one I really liked because it actually had pockets in it. I have a library card in here. These are some cards that we had picked up from different booths at Comic-Con that I definitely want to go back and look at their stuff. So those just kind of stay in there. A lot of these are bookish related or comic book related. This, a sticker, I'm just like, I really kind of want to put this on the front of one of my journals, but I'm afraid to use it. So it just kind of sits in here until I can decide what I want to do with it. I actually do have some page flags in here. These are some loose notes that I took. This is my main bullet journal for all my booktube plans, and I recently just started a WordPress blog, and so those ideas are going to go in this journal as well. I picked up this dotted journal at Michael's. It was about $5. Or if you use the 40% off coupon, you can always do that too and get it even cheaper. One of the first things I always do in my journal is I put little pockets in here. So this is the first pocket I have with some different notes. And then the other thing I do is I put an envelope in the back. And this is actually holding receipts, and I'll explain why when we get there. So this is a key for book lists. I put a blank box, and then when I own the book, I put a mark through it. When I've read the book, I color it in. And videos, I have videos that I plan. I keep an open box. If I filmed it, then I put a line through it. If I've edited it, I put an X through it. And if I've uploaded it and it's completely done and out of the way, then I color in the box. So that helps me really helps me keep track of where I'm at with my videos. This book is actually new. I did do a tour of my previous book, but I made a lot of changes to it and the video didn't come out. So this is my new book with things that I liked from the first time around with things, and I took things out that weren't working. So this is an unfinished index. I actually tend to wait and do my index quite a bit later once I've gotten through it, because I have made indexes before and then my pages change and then it's a complete mess trying to fix it. This index is for everything, and then this is a separate index for just my book tags. That way, if I want to do a book tag, then I can just flip to this index and see which page I put my questions on. This, as you can tell, is video ideas that I've been listing, and this one I haven't written down. I want to fix this page. This is going to be another page of games, bookish games to film. These are some different reading challenges. This I printed out a long time ago to do, like, for example, a Jane Austen reading challenge and just read everything that Jane Austen has read. This is a list of different readathons that are going on. The first one on my list, as you can see, is the Winter Biannual Bibliothon, and I have an approximate date, month when I should start looking for the videos that explain the challenges. Here's the first tag, Reader Problems book tag, and I went ahead and put all the questions down, and then I left room to put just my answers down instead of doing question answer style or not putting answers in there. I do like to prep my answers for better video quality. Another tag, I put the questions here and the answers will go on this page. Here's some notes on review tips that I've gotten from different YouTubers so that I can do better reviews. That's definitely something I can continue to strive for. So I do have those in here. So yeah. More book review tips. I've also made myself a little checklist. So when I'm reading a book or when I go back to review the book, I can make sure that I'm doing everything. Also, here's like post reviews on all the different platforms that I do like to visit. I can make sure that I check them off as I make sure that I share my reviews on all of my different platforms. This is something I think it would be very interesting for anyone who enjoys reading ARCs and doing reviews for authors. As I just said, I have several different platforms that I am at this time I am still trying to learn each different website to see which ones I like the best. I have several books from Goodreads that I need to do reviews on. I've come up with a little format here, a little form for myself when I have received an ARC or a giveaway or even a first look, so that I can keep track of the books and make sure that I am keeping up with all the books that I have committed to do reviews for. So here I first put the title and the author, and then the place I received the book from, the format I received it in, be it ebook, Kindle book, PDF file, some of them on, actually most of them on NetGalley that I've received. I can download them straight to my computer, so I don't have them on my phone. Also the date that I received it and the publication date. And then here I can mark down if I've read it and if I've reviewed it. Also the genre and some notes for myself when I go back to review it. So as you can see, I do have several that I need to come back in here and fill in and finish. Alright, this page is for my blog that I recently started. It's on WordPress. I will leave the link below. However, there isn't a whole lot to my blog just yet. There's maybe 3 posts at this time that I'm filming this. This is definitely something that I want to do more of. I decided that I would like to go ahead and do my written reviews on my blog, and then if I decide to film later, then I can do that. Sometimes I do have a hard time deciding what to say about a book. I can write about it a lot more easier. I just think that's a really good starting point. I can write it down there. I can easily copy and paste it to other platforms from there. And I can also use that as a reference to go back and film any reviews that I wish to film. So here's a list of different ideas I have for doing blog posts. Here's another book tag for the Sims book tag. And I do like to just go ahead and write the questions down, and then I can come back later and really sit down and think about think about how I want to answer the questions. Rainy day book tag, mid-year freakout tag. Here's another reason why I didn't want to write my answers with the questions, because this one's really good to do as an annual tag. So my answers are going to be different from year to year. Netflix tag, reader problems book tag. Did I seriously just do that one twice? That's okay. And here's my wrap-ups. As you can see, for August, I really didn't keep up with that at all. So that's kind of bugging me that this page is all by its lonesome with nothing on it. I might see if I can go back on my Goodreads and just put what I did read that month. This is my September reading roundup so far this month in September. Here's another form I found online for book reviews, and as you can tell, this was my pen that was dying on me, and this page looks so bad, but I did kind of like this form as a guideline for book reviews as well. Here are some notes I started on the Hush Hush series. Now the rest of this isn't filled up, except for in the end here. Now I'll get back to why I put this envelope here in the back. On this last page, I have signed up for the Barnes & Noble membership, which is $25 for the year, and I wanted to make sure that it's worth it. So if I am saving at least $25 or more, then it is worth the $25 fee to keep it for the year. I really like their receipts because they tell you, even when things are on sale, they tell you exactly how much you have saved from your membership. So I like to keep my receipts back here, and that way if I don't have time to write them down, I do just stick them in the folder to refer back to later to fill in this. So I put the date that I went shopping there, and I put how much I saved in total. And then I can round it up at the end and see how much I saved for the year. I did want to catalog all the books I have on my shelves, or different series tracking as well. I have tried many different apps tracking all the books that I want to read series. The hardest thing to find are series trackers. There's just really nothing that has worked out well, and so I decided to have a smaller notebook here just tracking all the books that I own, and series where I own some of the books, but I'm missing some of the books that I need to get, ones that I have read. So here's what that looks like. Also, this was a really fun sticker we got at Denver Comic Con this year. So here's an index. I was sort of trying to break up these books by like genre, classics. This first page is primarily like some classics that I have, and then as you can tell, I've marked them off as I read them. Really, I'm only putting the books that I own in here, with the exception of my series trackers. Here's the list of books here's more books. So these are just random lists as I was just going down my shelves, one by one, listing all the books. Now here's an example of how I'm doing my series tracking. Here, for example, I have the Millennium series by Stieg Larsson, and I actually own all 4 of these books. I actually think there is a 5th book to the series, but I haven't put it down. I kind of don't see myself reading that far into the series. Here's a book I'm reading now. Here's a series I've actually started, the Delirium series by Lauren Oliver. As you can see, I've read the first book. I own these 2 books. My library actually has all of these books, so I don't own them, but I will read them for my library. And I've just gone ahead and done that for all of these. Now, if there's an author that I really admire who writes several different series. Okay, so here's a good example. So here's books by Alexandra Bracken. Here's her Darkest Spines series, and I put the novellas. I kind of indent to put like novellas in here. And then here's a second series that she's written, Passenger. Also, here's Marissa Meyer's books. There's the Renegade series, Heartless, and then the Lunar Chronicles. And then this is an entire page for Cassandra Clare. I haven't written the title up here, but here's all the Immortal Instruments series, the Infernal Devices, the novellas, and her new series, The Dark Artifices. So this whole page is all for Cassandra Clare, and I also have an entire page dedicated for Anne Rice as well. And the rest of the book is pretty much like that. And that's as far as I've gotten. But I do have some updating to do. So this is just a really nice quick reference. When I am book shopping, okay, let's see. for another example. Oh, and here's another one for all the Percy Jackson books. Okay, so this is actually really good. So if I'm out shopping, and I do a lot of book shopping at my thrift store, and so you just kind of have to grab, even if it's like the 4th book and you don't have the first 3 books, if you know that that's a series that you want to read, I just pick it up because, you know, they're probably not going to have it again, and so I just put it on my shelf until I go ahead and collect the other books in the series. For example, The Heroes of Olympus, I actually have the first 3 books. I actually made a mistake because I forgot that I already had The Mark of Athena, so now I have 2 copies of this. So the next book, if I find it on the shelves, I would need The House of Hades and The Blood of Olympus to complete this series. So I always keep this in my purse, so when I happen to be at the bookstore, I can be like, oh, here's another Heroes of Olympus book, but which is the last one that I bought? So I can go in here and see if I already own the book. That way I don't rebuy the book. And that's my system for keeping track of the books that I have and I would like to have. And I hope that you found this helpful. I absolutely love bullet journaling. I only bullet journal for this bookish stuff. I don't use bullet journaling for any planning. When I was in school, I used a regular planner. I used the Carpe Diem planner, but now that I'm not in school and I don't have as much to do, I put everything on my phone calendar.